I'm trying to get it all out, you guys. But like I was saying, it's one thing when a student is completely closed down to the process of learning and doesn't want to see things from other points of view. However, that is not the case with me. Like, and then the other student in the class, which is another African American female, she stated that her viewpoint is that she doesn't believe in this whole theory of anthropology and that we evolved from monkeys. And I said the same thing, that we did not come from monkeys. And the fact that we as African American women express our view and our disdain for this whole theoretical approach that she just seems to embody and love and embrace, it triggered something in her to shut us down and to make the argument that we were creating a debate and that we were creating an environment that is not conducive to learning and so forth and so forth. And so we basically ended the class on a note of her, my professor, being upset, and she kind of like stormed out of the class. Usually she says, have a good weekend. It kind of like wishes us, farewell, but it wasn't the case today. It was like she was angry. And I think that as professors, especially a licensed psychologist, I don't know if she's still licensed or not, but your job is not to get all upset and bent out of shape when students have a differing point of view. Because my views are very strong. Like anything that I believe in, I'm really passionate about, and it comes out when I speak it. When I talk about it, it really comes out that way. And I feel like instead of her looking at it as a way to say that we are closed to the process of learning, she should have been more open to understand, okay, why do we see things that way? Tell me more about that. But she felt a need to kind of like defend her point of view, and that's what created a debate and a back and forth kind of thing between, me, my professor, and then the other African American student who basically kind of sided with my approach. Because love and just accepting things as they are, first of all, that does not contribute to second order change. And a little bit about first and second order change. This is phenomenon in probably social psychology, I would say, that in order for, there's different types of change. There's first order change that happens kind of on the surface, kind of like, I guess, what we saw when they elected President Obama. That was more like first order change. It kind of happens, not really real change. It kind of appears to be change. Like it appears that things are changing. When certain, organizations implement, let's say, cultural diversity training or something like that, it may seem as though that's first order change, or second order change. But it's really first order change. It's really surface level change. Second order change is the real change, where real change happens, where the paradigm changes. And I feel like if there is to be second order change, then we should not be afraid to confront the real issues at hand and be able to challenge, the system and the status quo. And I think that's the biggest problem. A lot of, especially African Americans, when they work their way up in these professions, they do not want to speak out openly about their viewpoint, and on certain things. They'll just take everything as is. And I noticed, I do have a few other African American students in the class, because the class is a multicultural class. It's an emphasis area class where people who are interested in kind of expanding their cultural diversity, this is a class that we take. And so there were other African American students in the class. I noticed like they were more reserved and quiet and not really saying anything. And I feel like that's the reason why we are here the way we are. We're here where we are at right now because too many people feel the need to just be quiet, not say anything, not challenge, the dominant worldview. And I feel like that's what happened today in my class, essentially. There's this dominant worldview that, okay, we have, we have this system of white supremacy and hierarchy and different class structures and this dominant worldview. And that's kind of what the film, I'm looking back, I'm looking for my bus, but that's kind of what the film was touching on. And that's the worldview and that's the system. And we just supposed to accept things as they are and just love and, pray about it and meditate. And they talk about, I think, meditation or something. I'm like, okay, yes, all that is good. And just kind of basically taking it as it is and not really trying to confront it. And we know that with real change, there's bloodshed. And I think that's what my professor, she got what I was saying, because that's what she took it there and said, okay, what do you mean? We should go to war? And I said, no, it's not about us going to war. I said, I don't think that we should just take it. I think that just as they made the premise that, you know, this system came about and you're trying to explain it about by animal behavior, like looking at animals and animal kingdom, how there's like a dominant structure and, you know, how they operate based on a hierarchy and so forth and cooperating. Like, if they're going to use that to say, okay, this is how the system came to be, why not say, okay, we know the system is flawed. I'm walking to my bus, but why not, you know, make the defense that, you know, or make the argument that this system is flawed, and in order to change it, that we're going to have to kind of get like animals, not in the sense of war, but kind of think like they think, you know, and just be human beings and defend ourselves. She wasn't having that. So I'll pick up with you guys later. That's good.